Hey, good evening, Lewis. I just want to thank you for commenting on my disputation paper, and I just want to say that I do understand how you feel about social media, and I understand how it affected you, and that's kind of the basis of my points throughout the paper. And I do agree that social media does have its benefits, but it's really, you have to look at it whether or not these benefits outweigh the negative effects that it has put to society. Yes, it is positive in that it can help grow our society, but again, that in many cases, such as yourself, we see the negative effects that it has on society. It is like a knife in some ways, but in other ways, not as much in the negative ways, because we as a society, as humans, are limited and we ourselves can't control that knife. So whether or not it should exist goes back to whether we are trustworthy enough to use these platforms. And yes, you said that we have to blame ourselves at some point, but these social medias link back to us. They're a tool that I believe are not helping us, but only making us worse and de-evolving our society. I also would like to point out that how you felt not as social during COVID-19 because of social media. And I don't really think that this was on you, but it was because of the surroundings, because of the COVID itself, obviously, but because social media, it lures you in, and that's not your fault. That it's designed this way to be a negative consequence. They know what they're doing, and therefore blaming yourself is part of the problem. We need to stop assuming that it's our fault and start putting where the negative is at its place. Therefore, if you do look at it like that, you find it easier to take yourself out instead of making it harder for you to take yourself away from social media. Instead of blaming yourself, if you put the blame on social media, it's easier for you to release this addiction. As well, yes, it does help us culturally and to spread, and this has helped society because this is a form of communication between us. But again, going back to the original point, that I don't believe that it's worth all the negative consequences that it has had over its time, over the positive effects, such as society being closer together. Again, I'd just like to say thank you. I really enjoyed your disputation paper as well, and have a good night.